Thank you, Mr. Micah. First, I want to thank you for allowing me to participate. I enjoyed serving under you on Transportation Committee. And secondly, I'd like to incorporate by reference all of the things that have been said that are politically correct on this issue as if I said them. And basically, I agree with most of them. And I want to thank the President. I don't think the President has been schizophrenic. The President hasn't gone nearly as far as I would like to see him go on this issue because it's a freedom issue. But the President has gone somewhat in enlightening the public as to priorities and as to Louis Brandeis and the laboratories of democracy, and we're on the right path. I would submit, with all due respect to my fellows on the other side, that schizophrenia, which my father was a psychiatrist and taught me something about, could be described as a party that talks about saving money all the time and being concerned with deficits and being totally driven by that, but not being concerned in saving money when people are in jail for marijuana and mandatory minimums that judges have said were awful, and for nonviolent first-time offenders who are serving lifetime sentences in jail, costing us $30,000 a year, and the population of jails has gone up 800% in the last 30 years. That's schizophrenia. You're concerned about cost and cutting costs, but not when it's jailing a population. I think it's schizophrenia when you're all for state issues and preemption and priorities and giving power back to the states, but not when it comes to them passing laws concerning marijuana. Then you're not for state initiatives and state priorities. And I think there's a certain schizophrenia for a party that talks about civil liberties, but not when it comes to personal liberties on this subject. So sometimes politics makes strange bedfellows, and whether they're in the same bin as McMurphy or not is another issue to be discussed. Mr. Botticelli, your hands are tied on Schedule 1, but it is ludicrous, absurd, crazy to have marijuana in the same level as heroin. Ask the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, if you could. Nobody dies from marijuana. People die from heroin. And every second that we spend in this country trying to enforce marijuana laws is a second that we're not enforcing heroin laws. And heroin and meth are the two drugs that are ravaging our country. And every death, including Mr. Hoffman's, is partly the responsibility of the federal government's drug priorities for not putting total emphasis on the drugs that kill, that cause people to be addicted and have to steal to support their habit. And heroin and meth is where all of your priorities should be. And it's not just Mr. Hoffman, a brilliant actor at 46 years of age, who first went to prescription drugs and then came back to heroin. That's our two major issues, I guess. I had a young friend, son of a girl I dated, who died of a heroin overdose about 2 years ago. I went to a party in Memphis recently, not Vermont, where the governor spent his entire State of the State hour address talking about the ravages of heroin in his state, but Memphis, Tennessee, where 4 women, give or take my age, well, maybe 15 years younger, sometimes I lose perspective, talked about heroin being a great problem among their children and in the Memphis community, and about another young man who had died of heroin. Heroin is getting into the arms of young people. And when we put marijuana on the same level as heroin and LSD and meth and crack and cocaine, we are telling young people not to listen to the adults about the ravages and the problems, and they don't listen because they know you're wrong. Because as Mr. Micah said, we know a lot of young people smoke marijuana. They shouldn't. Young people should be being young people. The most precious commodity in the world is time. Young people have got lots of time. Mr. Mike and I don't have that much more time. That's just the realities. Enjoy being young, playing ball, taking it easy, just doing kids' things and learning. And you shouldn't be doing drugs, but they are. And we need to make sure that we keep them alive. We need to educate them. But our efforts ought to be toward meth and heroin. That's where effort should be. And it shouldn't be Schedule 1. Anybody that goes to jail for marijuana is a crime. When people for possession are taking their liberties away, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of resources, it's a crime committed by our government. There is a cultural lag in this country, and this Congress is a leader in it. My time has expired. I thank the committee for allowing me to express myself. I will participate in questioning and yield back the non-existent remainder of my time.